Have you ever wondered what happens when, like, an urban environment just takes on a life of its own?
Yeah.
When it grows organically, defying planning, seemingly without rules, imagine structures just piling up, forming this labyrinth. A city within a city so dense it became legendary.
Yeah.
Well, today, our deep dive takes us right into that kind of place. The astonishing Kowloon Walled City.
It's an incredible story.
It really is. We've pulled together a whole stack of sources, historical accounts, architectural research, personal stories, too. They really show how this wasn't just some anomaly, but this unique phenomenon that, well, it still captures our imagination, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And our mission here is to, try and unravel how Kowloon Walled City actually became probably the most densely populated spot on Earth.
Right.
We need to dig into that paradox, the weird mix of it being this lawless place full of unregulated stuff,
Yeah.
but also somehow a thriving, really tight-knit community where people built lives.
And supported each other.
Exactly. And maybe the most surprising part, its cultural legacy, how it keeps inspiring creators even now, long after it was torn down. This isn't just history. It's about human ingenuity, resilience, in really extraordinary circumstances.
Okay, let's unpack this density thing first, because the scale is just, it's almost unbelievable. Try to picture it. Over 35,000 people living within just 2.6 hectares.
Which is tiny, barely 6.4 acres.
Exactly. And that density figure, over 1.2 million people per square kilometer. It's staggering. It was basically a vertical city, wasn't it? A human hive.
Completely. Unlike anything before or since, really. What's amazing, though, is its origins were pretty standard. It started way back in the Song dynasty as a military outpost.
Oh, really? I didn't know it went back that far.
Yeah, managing the salt trade initially. Then it became a coastal fort, got proper defensive walls in 1847. But the crucial bit came in 1898 with the lease of the new territories to Britain. The walled city became this de jure Chinese enclave inside British Hong Kong.
Legally Chinese, but surrounded by British territory.
Right. But in practice, it ended up functionally ungoverned, like for most of its life. It was caught in this weird diplomatic limbo.
So neither side really took responsibility.
Pretty much. Hong Kong didn't govern it. China mostly left it alone. And that gray area, that set the stage for everything that followed.
So you have this sort of jurisdictional vacuum, and then major world events just pour fuel on the fire.
Exactly. After World War II, Japan surrenders.
Right.
Then the Chinese Civil War kicks off. Refugees flood into Hong Kong.
And they needed somewhere to go.
Desperately. Many ended up in the walled city. Thousands settled there. It became a kind of haven, maybe a place of last resort for people looking for shelter, maybe some opportunity, however chaotic it was.
Right, chaos being the operative word, I guess.
Well, yeah. And this huge influx of people, combined with Britain basically adopting a hands-off policy around 1948,
Yeah.
it meant the city just grew, organically and crucially vertically.
With no planning,
Yeah.
no codes.
None. No real municipal oversight at all. Construction just exploded in the 60s and 70s. People were literally building new modular structures right on top of the old ones.
Wow, how high did they go?
Usually 10 to 14 stories. They couldn't go higher because of the plans.
Kai-Tak Airport?
Exactly. There's only about 800 meters south. The flight path went right over. Imagine the noise. Constant jet engines roaring just overhead.
Oh, must have been deafening. So incredibly dense, tall, totally self-made. But what was it like inside? Day-to-day life and that chaos.
Well, picture a maze, almost like, a giant ant farm. Dozens of alleyways, super narrow, maybe 1 or 2 meters wide.
Dark, I imagine.
Perpetually dark. Poor lighting, even worse drainage. Sunlight. It almost never reached the lower levels.
Yeah.
That's where the City of Darkness name came from.
Makes sense.
But it wasn't just a ground-level maze. There was this whole informal network upstairs. Staircases, rickety bridges, passageways connecting buildings.
Connecting between buildings.
Yeah. It was so extensive, you could apparently travel the entire length of the city north to south without ever setting foot on the ground level.
No way! That's mind-boggling. A hidden transport system miles above the actual streets.
Kind of, yeah. A truly three-dimensional city, not just tall, but in how you move through it.
Was that informal structure? I mean, did anyone challenge it, or was it just accepted as vital?
Oh, it was absolutely vital. The construction itself was, totally unregulated.
Right.
Most of the 350-odd buildings had poor foundations. Space was maximized everywhere. Wider upper floors, caged balconies sticking out, endless rooftop additions.
And the rooftops themselves, what were they like?
Packed. TV antennas, clotheslines everywhere, water tanks, rubbish. But you could get up there via ladders. They became another layer of infrastructure.
Not just functional, though.
No, definitely not. They were crucial public spaces, too. As for basic services, the city got water from 8 municipal pipes. Just 8 for everyone.
Wow. That doesn't sound like more.
It wasn't. Residents dug their own wells to supplement it. But interestingly, the Hong Kong government did deliver the mail. A small official thread in an unofficial city.
Okay, so we have this image. Unbelievably dense, self-built, chaotic. But the big question, the really fascinating part is, how do people actually live there? How do they coexist? Which brings us to that core paradox, right? The lawlessness and the community somehow tangled together.
It's true. And you can't ignore the lawless aspect. From the 50s to the 70s, it was largely run by triad gangs.
The 14K and Sun Neon.
Yeah, them specifically. That was the reality. An illegal economy just thrived. Brothels, gambling dens, opium parlors.
All operating openly.
Pretty much. Trade in banned stuff, narcotics, even dog meat, apparently. Government enforcement was almost zero. Police only went in large groups, and even then,
They didn't stay long.
their presence was limited, which meant, things like unlicensed doctors and dentists could just set up shop. No threat of prosecution.
So a whole shadow economy.
A kind of parallel state, yeah.
Yeah.
Operating because the official one just wasn't there.
Okay, hearing about the triads, the drugs, the gambling, it sounds incredibly dangerous. Was it really like that for everyone? Or is there another side to the story?
That's such a crucial point. And it's a huge misconception. Despite all that crime, most residents, they weren't involved in any of it.
Really?
Yeah, they lived remarkably peacefully, all things considered.
Yeah.
It wasn't a city of criminals. It was a city where criminals also operated, often in specific bits or industries.
Okay.
The fascinating thing is how the non-criminal majority dealt with it. They formed this incredibly tight-knit community. They basically made their own social rules, their own support systems to cope with the conditions and the lack of government.
So how did that actually work day to day? How did they keep things peaceful when the triads were around, like internal social contracts?
Absolutely. There was this unspoken understanding, a pragmatic acceptance of certain things, but within that, a really strong sense of helping each other out.
Like what? Can you give examples?
Sure. It was common for, say, wives to handle housekeeping for several families. Grandmothers often looked after not just their own grandkids, but kids from neighboring homes, too.
Sharing the load.
Exactly. And the rooftops we mentioned. They became super important gathering places, not just for laundry, but for relaxing, kids playing, doing homework. Away from the cramped, dark apartments below, they were like the city's lungs.
Spaces where community could actually happen.
Definitely. Even the Yamen, that old administrative building in the center, became a major social hub. People gathered to chat, drink tea, watch TV. They even held classes there like calligraphy.
Wow.
There was an old people center, temples for worship. People self-organized too. They formed groups like an anti-demolition committee early on.
To protect their homes.
Yeah, and that later became the basis for a kaifeng association, basically a neighborhood welfare group. Charity started coming in gradually too. It shows this organic structure just emerging from within. Informal governance in action.
It's amazing adaptability. And the triad control, that didn't last forever, did it? Things changed in the 70s.
Right. There was a big shift. The police launched massive raids in 73, 74. We're talking over 3,500 raids, thousands arrested, huge amounts of drugs, seized like 1,800 kilos.
Wow, serious crackdown.
Very serious. And those sustained efforts, plus public support, really started to chip away at the drug trade and violent crime. By 1983, the local police commander felt confident enough to say crime there was under control, a major turning point.
But ultimately, politics decided its fate.
Yes. The changing political landscape sealed it. The Sino-British Joint Declaration in 1984, the agreement for Hong Kong's return to China that laid the groundwork for demolition.
Both sides agreed it had to go.
They did. The mutual decision was announced in January 87. It was a huge, huge undertaking. Cost HK $2.7 billion, about $350 million US, just in compensation.
For 33,000 residents and businesses?
Roughly, yeah. And understandably, not everyone was happy with the offers at first. There were some forced evictions between late 91 and mid-92 before the final demolition started.
And just before they tore it down while it was empty. Didn't Jackie Chan film there?
He did. A Scene for Crime story in 1993. A sort of final cinematic moment for the empty city. It really marked the end of the physical structure.
But when something that, well, intense disappears physically, does it really vanish? What happened to the idea of Kowloon Walled City?
That's the second big surprise, isn't it?
Yeah.
Its physical end was definitely not the final word. Demolition started March 93, finished April 94. But where it stood, now there's Kowloon Walled City Park.
Which opened pretty quickly after.
Yeah, December 1995. And it's not just any park. It was designed like a traditional Jiangnan garden, paths named after old city streets, and they deliberately kept historical bits.
Like what?
You can still see the restored Yamen building. It's a photo gallery now. And parts of the old Southgate original plaques, a flagstone path. It's a very conscious act of remembrance.
So what does that say about its legacy? It went from this place people avoided, maybe feared, to...
Well, something Hong Kong felt a complex pride in. It gets portrayed now with this sort of romantic dystopian vibe, right? Inspiring fictional cities everywhere. Exactly. Why? I think its enduring appeal is its sheer uniqueness, those paradoxes we talked about. Extreme chaos, but intense community.
That resonates.
Deeply. The look of it, the maze-like corridors, the vertical density, made it perfect for, say, video game environments.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You see it in Kowloon's Gate, Shenmue II, even that cat game Stray. They capture that feeling of exploring these dense, layered worlds and the lawless reputation. That feeds into darker games like Call of Duty, Black Ops, or Shadowrun, Hong Kong.
And film, too, right? That visual impact is so strong. I mean, the Narrows in Batman Begins, that was directly inspired by it, wasn't it?
Directly. And Hong Kong film set there, like Recycle or A Fist Within Four Walls.
Yeah.
More recently, Twilight of the Warriors. Walled In brought the 80s walled city back to life. It even pops up in animation, like Ba Sing Se in The Legend of Korra. His image just traveled everywhere.
It's wild.
And into anime and manga, too, Crying Freeman, Blood Plus Agin, Kowloon, generic romance. They often capture not just the look, but that feeling of a self-contained, almost living place.
And it's not just fictional. There are real-world places inspired by it.
There are. That warehouse Kawasaki arcade in Japan, sadly closed, now meticulously recreated the atmosphere. Narrow, dripping pipes, neon signs.
Wow.
There's a live music venue in Tokyo, Shibuya Kimirai Kaikan, with Cantonese graffiti, and these big multi-story retro-themed restaurants in China, Wenheiyu, that some people call 1.1 recreations.
It's just incredible how a place once seen as this problem became such a powerful cultural symbol. Its physical end, almost, in a weird way, sparked this huge surge of interest, from slum to fascination.
So we've kind of journeyed through this incredible story, haven't we? From ungoverned urban chaos to this surprising hub of community and ingenuity, and now this potent cultural memory resonating globally.
Which really makes you think, what does the story of Kowloon Walled City actually teach us about, informal governance, human adaptation, how a place, even after it's gone, can live on so vividly in our imagination, inspire so much creativity?
Well, I think it's a powerful reminder, isn't it? That even in the toughest, seemingly lawless spots, humans find ways to organize, to build community, to adapt with incredible resilience. And it shows the power of a place's identity, too. How it can become more than just buildings, how it can turn into a symbol, a myth that keeps feeding our creativity.
It definitely makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other unlikely places out there, maybe places we overlook, hold similar stories? Stories of resilience, unexpected community, just waiting for a deep dive.